Hello you, thanks for joining me for this special live bulletin on YouTooSpain. We're here to help you with everything to do with moving to Spain and living there. Today we're asking, why on earth is there a gas charge on your electricity bill in Spain and how can you avoid it? Welcome to YouTooSpain. Let's do the little dance before we begin. Here we go. Yes, thanks for joining me. I have a special guest today who's been investigating those charges on electricity bills. So let's say hello to Dave Smith. Hola, Dave.
Hola, hi Skatz. How you doing?
I'm very, very good. It's just unusual for me to be doing this on a Wednesday evening. It's
Yeah,
exciting. Normally,
me
it's just
too.
yes. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for taking the time. And
Well,
let's get straight into it because we've both got places to go. I've got a gig to go to, and you're going to a party. So that's
yeah,
smashing. Good. So first of all, electricity pricing in Spain for a start is very complicated and confusing. You just got to look at my bills to know that. But it's been made even more confusing by some companies adding a charge for gas on their bills, even if you don't have gas. So first of all, tell us what on earth is that about in a nutshell?
okay. So yeah, it is confusing and very complicated, which is why I spent a bit of time looking into it. So electricity prices throughout Europe are actually based on the price of gas. And part of the reason for that is gas has been used to generate power in gas-fired power stations. You've got coal-fired power stations, you've got nuclear power, other renewable resources, but gas is one of them. And historically, the price of electricity has always been tied to the price of gas.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Is that because it's the most expensive?
it hasn't always been. So I've got a chart here. I'll just hold up, and people can find this on by looking up EU natural gas prices. So you can see from that the prices 5 years ago. In fact, 2 years ago, it was 10 euros megawatt hour, and on Tuesday this week, it was 365 euros a megawatt hour, the cost of gas. So it's come down a little in the last couple of days because the EU are looking at doing some regulation to try and cap the price of gas.
Mm-hmm.
So Spain looked at this, the Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal looked at this and said, well, look, we've got a major problem with electricity prices. How can we reduce the price of electricity? Since it's tied to the price of gas, they're linked. If we can reduce the price of gas, that will automatically reduce in the market the price of electricity. So that's why they've put a gas price cap onto it. The idea being that, okay, limit the price of gas. So this week, for example, it's 365 euros a megawatt hour. Without the gas price cap, it would have been 476 euros per megawatt hour. And that translates to almost 50 cents per kilowatt hour in the wholesale market. And when they add their costs and profit and distribution costs on, people are paying 60, 70 cents a kilowatt hour, whereas a year or two ago may have been paying 7, 8, 9 cents instead of that.
And this is happening. This is happening even though that Spain don't get their gas or oil or anything from over in Russia. They get it from Algeria.
From Algeria, yeah. In fact, Spain only produces about 15% of electricity from gas, but the rest of the market are all, and this is not just Spain, this is everywhere, they're all allowed to charge the market rate for electricity. The only source that's gone up in price is the gas. So nuclear power, for example, they can charge the same price, but their cost of production hasn't changed. So, for example, some producers it might cost them 40 or 50 euros per megawatt hour to produce it, but they might be charging 400 euros in the market. So people have seen these massive profits, and there are taxes have come along to try and to limit that. window taxes and so on. We've seen them in the UK a little bit, seen some of it in Spain. The EU are currently looking at a gas cap throughout Europe. But this, in Spain, this one is called the Iberian exception. And because Spain gets its gas from elsewhere, has a lot of other types of electricity production, they've been allowed, Spain and Portugal, been allowed by the EU to put this gas price cap on. So the problem with that is that the companies that are buying gas are losing out because there's a cap on the market. So in order to pay for that, what the government have done, they said, okay, we will allow every company. We brought out this law RDL 1022, which came into force in 14th of June this year. It was passed on 13th of May. That allows companies to add on an additional charge to spread across the market to pay for this. Overall, I've seen examples that suggest the saving to consumers could be more than 1 billion euros over the whole of Spain, spread across. But there's winners and losers. So there are two main markets in Spain. You have the regulated market and the free market. The regulated market, there's only 8 companies. One of the biggest is called Energía XXI, which is an Endesa company. Used to be under the brand Endesa, but they changed it when they separated them out. And Energía XXI is a regulated market. In a regulated market, the price changes daily that you pay. And the market price today is what they charge their consumers tomorrow. And then the market price tomorrow, they charge them the day after. So when prices are doing this, now, the prices in the regulated market are absolutely skyrocketing. So one in, I think it's 1 in 3, let me just check. Yeah, about 1 in 3 consumers in Spain are in the regulated market. It's also known as the PVPC market. So their costs are rocketing. If you're on Bono Social, which means you're on very low income, you can get reductions in your bills. You can only get that if you are on a regulated market contract. So there's a lot of people on very low incomes that have been on a regulated market. And historically, it was always the cheapest electricity. But see what's happened in the last 18 months. It's gone from being 5, 6, 7 cents a kilowatt hour to 60 odd cents a kilowatt hour. And even with the reductions, it's still very expensive. So because the whole market now is allowed to charge to make up for the losses that some people have got because of the gas price cap, all companies can charge this based on a formula, and it's a very complex formula. I'll just show you the formula just so you can see.
Yeah, too small for me to see, but it's just really complicated. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a horrendously complicated formula, and based on that formula, they can charge everybody an amount per kilowatt hour that they're consuming, but only if they've started a contract or changed the contract since the 26th of April this year.
Okay, now, so this is the non-regulated. These are the people who are paying.
This is the free market.
The free market.
Yeah, the free market. And in the free market, companies they can charge anything that they like. Basically, they buy electricity and they sell it to consumers. They're nothing to do with the production or distribution of the electricity. They're just marketing companies. They buy it. But what they do is they can forward buy it. They can hedge it. So they can say, well, I'll buy at this price for the next year, not knowing what it's going to do. They pay a little bit more in order to have that, but because the market's gone up so high, actually those prices now are very good. So I got a fixed price myself last December, and I'm not subject to any of these additional RDL 1022 gas price cap charges. It's a fixed price per month that I pay, and I haven't changed the contract since the 26th of April, and it's not renewed. It won't renew until December. So basically, I'm okay till December. But be very careful if you're thinking of changing to a new supplier because you're seeing your bills shooting up, have a look. Is there something in there referencing RDL 1022? If it is, it means you're paying this gas price cap, and that means you've either started a contract or renewed it or changed something. Even if you change your 3 hours that you have per day, or some contracts have a free day per week. Even if you change that, or you change your potentia, you say, oh, I had a 5 kilowatt supply and I want to increase it to 6. That is considered a change in contract, and any change in contract since 26th of April will trigger the application of this additional gas price cap charge based on that formula I showed you. So I can't tell you exactly how it is, but some people have seen very high, almost doubling of bills. It can be. Some people have seen 20 or 30 euros added. Some none at all yet, like myself and people that are on a fixed contract since before 26th of April.
So you'll know if you're on the fixed contract because you're paying a fixed amount per month. That's easy to tell. But some people seem to have been charged even on this. I mean, I think I'm on the other kind, but our electricity bill has gone up, but you can't see it on the bill. It doesn't say charge for gas.
Yeah. So if you're subject to this charge, which all vary, if you're on variable price, in other words, you're following the market price, then you are subject to the charge. The market price has come down because of the gas price cap, but it's also gone up a bit because you're paying the gas price cap charge, but it's less than you would have been paying.
Okay. So it's not quite as bad as you think, because if you hadn't had the charge, it would have only been slightly more.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. The prices would have gone up even more. Remember, I said that the price in the market on Tuesday was 365 euros per megawatt hour. It would have been 476 without the gas. And people that are on a tariff that's following the market price would have been based on 476 euros a megawatt hour, not the 365. So it's actually less than you would have been paying, but it's still a lot of money.
So it seems like a really strange system, because some companies have decided to charge and some companies haven't, and some companies obviously are doing the fixed price, so they can't do anything until their customer changes their contract in some way, and other people are just
renewal.
Yeah. And people like me, I think, who are just on the regulated, they're being charged, but it's only slightly more than it. Than it
you may not be able to see, because the regulated market has changed. The price is changing on a daily basis. They just tell you a total amount for the energy that you consume. They can't tell you the price per kilowatt hour because it's changing every day. So they just give you a total. Well, you've consumed this, and this is how much you've paid. You can work out an average, but it's very difficult to work out where all these charges are built into that.
Unless you know the exact price per day, you can't work it out.
That's right. People on a fixed rate per kilowatt hour or a fixed monthly price, you can work it out because they add it on as a separate line item.
So there's a timescale on this charge. Is it May next year?
There is. So currently, it's set to continue to be charged from when it's triggered up until maximum 31st of May at the moment. It may finish sooner, but that's up to the government.
And the other good news is that Sanchez did announce, he's the Prime Minister, by the way, if you don't know, he announced they're going to reduce VAT on utilities, I think, from 21% down to 5%. So the bill should go down.
It's already come down. Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, for not for businesses, but for domestic consumers, it went from 21 down to 10%, and then it went down from 10% to 5%.
Okay.
So that has been a big saving, but not enough to account for the massive increases in the market price.
Yeah. There you go. So is there anything else we need to know?
I think that's the main things. It's extremely complex. It's very difficult to say whether you should or shouldn't be being charged this charge without looking at the details of your contract, what's the T's and C's, when was it started, and the type of contract, whether you're following the market price or you're on a fixed price or fixed rate. So it's tricky to know, but at least people can understand a little bit better, hopefully, why they're seeing it.
Great. Well, okay, so everybody, don't forget to click on that like button, by the way, and subscribe and click on the bell, and then you'll be the first to hear when we have more news and updates and vital information for you here on YouTooSpain. There is a website, YouTooSpain.com. Check that out. There are links below here to that in the video description. And there's also lots of other really helpful links to websites where you can get discounts and help from specialists on moving to Spain and living here. And you can also help out YouTooSpain by using some links or donating via the Patreon link, or you can buymeacoffee.com. It's very nice. I'm very thirsty, so get doing that now. So thank you so much, Dave, for taking the time to come on YouTooSpain on this this short Wednesday broadcast.
You're welcome.
And giving us this important information. I have a feeling it won't be the last time.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure. So,
Cheers.
so everyone join me on Saturday mornings for more live chat with the experts, and on Monday lunchtimes also for more advice on saving money. Peace and love, everyone. See you on the next video. Let's cue that music again, and we can do a little dance to go out. Do you want to dance, Dave?